Welcome to Global Mission Child and Teens International Broadcasts with Dr. Raymond.
Hello, good day. My name is Raymond. I'm the president of Global Mission Child and Teens International, and today I will be talking about child empowerment on our parental responsibility series, part 6. And the other day I began to talk about youth empowerment, and I said that youth empowerment is actually a misnomer and that there is nothing like youth empowerment. It is actually a youth resuscitation or a youth rehabilitation done for youth that has either been unformed, malformed, or deformed. And I said that if actually we are to empower children today, then we may not need to empower youths tomorrow. So our intention should be to empower children today. Now, how do we get children empowered to stand in the future? I'll be taking my reference from Psalm 23 verses 6, and it says, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies, thou anointest my head, my cup runs over. Now, two things are outstanding here. He said, he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. He prepared. Number two, he said, he anointed my head. Now, prepare talks about preparation. Then anointing talks about empowerment. So for your children to stand up against the enemies of their destiny or their future or the enemies of our economy, they must first of all be prepared. Then for your children to have abundance, for their cup to run over in the future, then we must anoint their head. That is, we must empower them. So preparation and empowerment is what actually gives rise to victory over lack and poverty. Now, how do we prepare our children? I'm going to enumerate some points here for preparation. Number one is that we must understudy our children. You must understudy them, get to know your child's capacity, potentials, abilities, proclivities. Every child has a unique personality. Every child has a unique identity. Every child has a unique temperament. When you understand your children, you get to know their interests. Some children have obvious talents, obvious giftings, obvious potential, crying loud for attention, while others have very silent giftings or potentials that may show up later in the future. And that is why children like Emanuela, whose giftings were loud, but were not picked by the parents. Some other person saw it and picked those talents. And today she's everywhere. Same thing with success. You know them. And so many other children out there whose talents are very obvious, and today they are making waves. Now your child may be talented in one way or the other, but you are not seeing it right now. Your child, some of us, our children know how to sing. That shows that they have talents in singing. Some of them know how to talk. Some of them know how to write. Some of them know how to tell short stories, long stories. Some of them are so creative. They always want to produce something out of nothing. Some of them can imagine things that wouldn't enter one's mind. Those are hidden talents that are crying out for attention. But if you do not see it, if you do not pay attention to it, you may miss it. The next point is orientation. In preparing your children, you must give them the right orientation. Let them know that they are the best. Let them know that they can do all things. Give them the I can mentality. Let them know that they have something in them. Let them know that the world is waiting for them. Let them know that they are so unique that what they have, nobody else has it anywhere else in the world in that unique way. Let them know that they can do anything they have set their mind to do. Empower their mind. The next point is exposure. Every child has greatness in him or her, but the degree of exposure determines the variability of expression of this greatness. The difference between a 5-year-old in Nigeria and a 5-year-old in China is exposure. Children must be maximally exposed within a margin of safety. We must expose them to creative movies and cartoons, which help to sharpen their IQs. We must expose them to different books, novels, short and long stories to boost their imaginative skills. We must expose them to educational events and competitions to empower them and motivate them to work harder in life. We must expose them to recreational centers such as museums, parks, advanced student playgrounds, to develop their psychosocial and cognitive skills. Must expose them to different gadgets, kids empowering gadgets, such as kids tablets, keyboards, flutes, and all that. These are very empowering for children. We must also expose them to different career options. That way you will know where their interest is. There is no limit to how much you can expose your children. There's no limit to exposure. But ensure it's within a margin of safety. Fourth point is observation. When you have given your child the right orientation, you've given your child the right exposure, you now observe the child to know where the child is moving towards, what direction is moving towards. Now, Isaiah 8 verse 18. The children that thou hast given me are for signs and for wonders. So children are for signs and for wonders. That is, every child has a sign pointing you to a certain direction. And when you point the child to that direction, that child becomes a wonder to his generation. On no account should you want your child to read sciences when he or she doesn't like sciences. On no account should you want your child to read medicine or pharmacy or nursing and that child wants to do something else. Don't impose yourself on the child. Look at where the child is excellent and help the child to achieve more excellence in that direction. Who said that the best of people are doctors? Or the wealthiest of men are doctors? Or the most noble of men are doctors? Or nurses or lawyers? No, nobody said so. They are neither the best paid or the safest in the society. So why should you want your child to do that? Let your children make their own choices to some extent. Give them the room to pursue their own passion, their own vision. This is very, very important. And when you have done all this, the next thing is empowerment proper. Another empowerment, I'll be talking about two kinds of empowerment. There's general empowerment and there's specific empowerment. The general empowerment is where formal education falls into. Every child must be formally educated. Every child must go to school. Every child must be well educated. That is the foundation for child empowerment. Then the next point on the general empowerment is empowerment in other areas like music. Music is life. Music is as old as man. One thing about music is that it is generally accepted and always in vogue. So if you empower your children in one area of music or the other, one may know how to play guitar, the other may know how to play the flutes, the trumpets, and so on. When they are empowered in these directions, by default, then they will always be relevant to people in society and they can always sustain themselves. Instrumentalists are always needed, I can tell you, anywhere. So if you can bring in those musical instruments into your home, buy them, keep them, and try to arouse your children's interests to learn those things. They may not have so much interest in it, but they can just learn it. It's a skill that they can learn in the home. The next area is the IT. This is an information age. Every child must have an exposure in the IT. If it's possible, let them run advanced IT courses. Oracle, AutoCAD, web design. They can have those things. When they go out there, they will always be needed. Always be needed. These are general areas of empowerment. There are many others, but these specific ones are the ones that I know that if your children have them, there is no way they will not be relevant tomorrow. Even if the economy is crashing. The next is specific empowerment. When you have done all the preparatory procedures, you will be able to know the area of interests of your child. And if you want to cut the whole story short, you can ask the child, what do you think you love most? What skill would you want to have? What vocational skill would you want to have? And the child will lead you directly. Now I want to mention something very important. There is no skill that is degrading or downgrading. It is those that handle it that are degrading and downgrading. Some are called tailors and seamstresses, while others are called fashion and designers. It's all about the packaging. Some are called shoemakers, while others are called shoe cobblers. It's all about the packaging. Some shoes go for 5,000. In fact, some go for as low as 1,000, while others go for as high as 500,000, 1 million. It's all about the packaging. So no matter the skill your child has, if only you can package him, or he can package himself, or package herself, and I tell you, they will always be marketable at any level. So marketing is variable. The business world is variable. It's all about how you present your market. So never say that a skill is degrading. It's not your level. There is no skill that is not your level. Go into it and make the difference. The world is looking for people who will go into areas and make difference. So empower your child. Empower his mind. Empower his psychology. Empower his economy. And empower every aspect of your children. Finally, I want to say this. Education, formal education is the foundation. But skills, talents, natural endowments and giftings will always produce greatness and stardom if properly harnessed and put into action. Thank you for staying tuned. I hope you enjoyed this series. God bless you. See you in our next episode. Bye-bye.